Okay, ladies, I finished sooner than I thought. I was too excited, and I don't think I could hang on for a whole week. So here's the mini album. This is what I created with all the 30 items that you ladies suggested. I just want to thank you again so much for participating. But I did end up adding an item. I wanted to be a part of it, so I thought I'd add an item that I wanted to see incorporated in the mini album, so I chose alcohol inks. It was hard because there's a lot of things out there that I love, but alcohol inks was what worked best with this mini album. So here it is. If you look on the sidebar, you'll see what everybody suggested. So just click on the more information, and it'll show the listing of everyone and their item. So here I put some Prima ribbon and some fiber. And then for the ring here, I added some charms, which this is the washer. And then I just stressed it with the vintage photo. And then I added some bling around it. And then Kylie had suggested a soda can, so I kept the opening part of the soda can and just distressed that. And then this was a hanger also that one of the ladies suggested. And it came out really cute. It's really tiny, and I like the way it looked. And then here's a charm that Angie suggested, and then I just distressed it with vintage photo. And then here's the key that says Journey. So for the cover, basically I painted it brown, then I painted over again with black, and then I painted it over again with brown. So you kind of see that washed look. You'll see the tones of brown and black in it. And then I add my favorite, which is the distressed crackle paint. And then I got the rub on and put beautiful, so it'll say Beautiful Journey. You can make this a family album, or you can make this a travel album. And then I added a metal embellishment, which I distressed, and some Prima flower, some bling, and then some Prima ribbon. And I got the recycled chipboard and used the Stampin' Up! Exclusive Little Leaves die. So that's the front cover. So for the first page, one of the ladies suggested for me to use a jean pocket, which I've never used actually in scrapbooking before, but it turned out really cute, and I like how it looked. So I added some Prima ribbon on the bottom, and I like the way the pocket tucks into it perfectly. And then I stapled the sides, which staples was one of the items. And then I just added some bling. This button already came with the pocket. And then you can put a little tag here, photo maybe, and journal. And then I distressed the clip. So here's the acetate. I couldn't use distress ink because no one had suggested that, and that was hard because I wanted either that or alcohol inks. So I learned to improvise. That's where the improvising came in, and then I just used distressed powder, which actually I like the way it turned out. It looks really neat. And then if you put your heat gun a little closer or a little longer, the acetate will start curling up, and I kind of like how it looks. It has that kind of age look. So I added a rub-on, and then stamped Tim Holtz stamp of the bird on the branch, and then distressed it with the black soot distress powder. And then on this page, I add the distress powder, and then I add my favorite, the clip. And you can take this actually out like this. So photo, maybe a journal. And here's some sequins that one of the ladies had suggested that I added on there. And I never used sequins before, so that's my first time using it. And then I added a Prima flower, and then I put some staples on it. So on this page, I made a pocket using one of the edge punches, which Hope had suggested. And then it's a pocket, so you can add a little tag or maybe a photo. And then I put the washer on top of the Prima flower, and then added some bling. And then I added a key that says Life. And this is the foam sheet that Antoinette had suggested. I never used foam sheet, and I thought it would be perfect to use it with the Stampin' Up! Exclusive Top Note die. and then the flower, and then the staple. And then fabric was also another one. So I made my Prima flower, which I had to hand cut because I couldn't use my Sizzix dies. So, but you know what? Now that I look back at it and I looked at my video that I made, I like it better this way because it doesn't look like a perfect circle. So I like how that turned out. And then this is a washer, which I had added the alcohol ink, which is the lettuce color, and then I put vintage photo distress powder. And here was the fun part. I don't know who suggested it, I forgot the name, but they left a comment on one of my posts to use paint on the bubble wrap. So instead of paint, which I thought, thank you, which was a great idea, I stamped the Versamark onto the bubble wrap. So let me get that bubble wrap real quick. Here it is. I cut it to the same size as the paper, and then I got my Versamark and then I inked it, pressed it down, but didn't press it too hard because then it'll pop the bubble. And then I turned it over and then I pressed it like that, really gently. And then I got clear embossing powder, and look how it turned out. It turned out really neat. And I like it because the circles don't look perfect. So I left it blank. That way whoever wins this album can, you know, do whatever they want with this page. But I wanted you to be able to see what I did with it. And I like it a lot how it turned out. And then so for this page, I had cut this out and I never used it, so it worked perfect. And it's a pocket. So again, you can add a tag or a photo. And then I added some beads, some pearl beads. And then here's the stamp that Stephanie had suggested. I didn't have a vintage stamp, so I stamped the Prima stamp, and then I stamped the small vintage stamp on a piece of cardstock, and then distressed over it. So it looks like a stamp over a stamp, which turned out really cute. And then here I just put the same paper in the back and added some Prima ribbon. And then here's some more acetate, but instead of distress, I used the UT, which is also known as ultra thick embossing enamel. And then on this page, I left this one blank too, but I got my favorite crackle paint stamp, which is this stamp right here. And then I stamped it in the middle and then used the clear embossing powder. So I liked how that looked. And then you could maybe add a little small photo in there so you could still see the crackle paint, the crackle look. And then I liked how this turned out so much that I did the same thing on this side, except that I used black distress powder. And then this one is my favorite of the acetate. I like how the washers fit perfectly on the punch part. And then I distressed it. And then this I added crackle paint and then distress powder. And then I did like looks like a little ruler rub on top right there. And then here I had to use a buckle, so I incorporated the buckle through some cardstock. And then here's some flour that I'd stamped with a script letter, and then used the embossing powder. And then this is clear powder. And I just left this blank, and you can probably write something here. And this is my favorite. This is a soda can. This is what I did with it. I made a Prima flower out of it. And this is why I wanted to use alcohol ink, because I just put little drops of alcohol ink, and because it's aluminum, it just spread on its own. And it came out really, really pretty. I don't know if you can see that. There you are. And then one of the ladies also suggested me to make my own envelope. So here's my envelope. And I couldn't use Velcro to close it, so I used the clip idea. And then it pulls out a little card and a little saying. So that turned out really nice. And then here is a flower that I distressed with embossing powder. And then here's a bottle cap. And then I put a brad on top. So that's the mini album. So let's get to the drawing. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I only have a few seconds left, so here it is. This is the winner. This is the person that gets the mini album. And, oh my gosh, I'm like totally shaking. And the winner is, here we go, here we go. I'm like so nervous. Tina! Yay, Tina! You get to win the mini album. So be sure to leave me a message and add your address on there, and I'll have it sent to you right away. Thanks again, ladies. I had a lot of fun. Bye.